This brief video from Atlas API Training is going to introduce CWI exam preparation materials. This complete course tour for parts A, B, and C will introduce you to the narrated lessons, audio flashcards, practice quizzes, and simulated exams. And just like all other online materials from Atlas API, this is available anywhere, anytime on any of your supported devices. Our CWI courses are complete curriculums designed to aid you in taking and passing the CWI exam and receive your certification. These are not just pre-seminar courses that would prepare you to take a course, but our courses are complete courses that prepare you to take the exam. Our CWI Part A, B, and C courses are AWS accredited for 20 hours each, and you can accumulate a total of 60 hours if you take all three parts. AWS accepts these hours for either retesting purposes or as professional development hours towards a 9-year renewal. Please visit aws.org/certification for further details. The Atlas CWI exam prep course consists of 4 different sets of study materials: narrated lessons, audio flashcards, practice quizzes, and timed exams. Now we're going to take a brief look at the narrated lessons. This curve and drag animation is from the actual narrated lesson.
When you're making that cut, the width of the cut is referred to as the kerf. The cut's starting to drag behind. As you can see, it's not straight up and down. And the distance that it's dragging behind is referred to as the drag.
In addition to the dedicated lesson for the WPS and the PQRs, we also have several quiz questions that will show you the proper use of these two forms. This is a typical slide from our Part C narrated lessons with the actual voiceover.
And face bend test is a soundness test in which the individual performing the test places the specimen across the shoulders of a die with the surface to be tested facing down.
Now I'm going to introduce our second set of study materials, our audio flashcards. The audio flashcards for parts A, B, and C is a total of about 9 hours of narrations, and it goes over about 1,300 narrated questions and answers, and they're all broken up into small manageable groups at about 30 minutes each. And you can see in the chart here, the flashcard numbers are pretty equally distributed across all 3 parts A, B, and C. The audio flashcard will present the question for you at the top of the screen, and once the question is read, the answer will be revealed at the bottom. So, can visual inspections be done before, during, and after welding? True or false? The answer for that is true. You always have the option of listening to the audio flashcard on your device's audio. However, if you can't do that, you still always have the option to manually navigate through the questions and just read the questions and answers as you go along. So the question is, the deletion of backing used in a welder's qualification test blank will require the requalification of the welder. The audio flashcards are developed from the same databank that contains all of our questions and answers for our quizzes and our exams. So this is a great opportunity to review and refresh all the information you've been learning. So in our last example of a flashcard here, the question is, pipe ends of the same thickness shall not be offset by more than how much? That would be 1/8 of an inch. And now to our next set of materials. The third set of CWI exam prep materials are practice quizzes, and I'll introduce those now. We have over 1,600 questions and answers in our quiz and exam files, and you can take quizzes and exams as often as you want. And the exams will be timed and scored, but the quizzes are not scored. Looking at the graphic here, you can see that the Part B has the most questions at 700, followed by Part A at 575 and Part C at 400. With practice quizzes, you'll get immediate feedback when you submit your answer, so you know if you got it correct or incorrect. Also, practice quizzes are not scored and they are not timed. Here's a quiz question that uses a picture that shows you how to take a bevel angle measurement. You can click on it to expand it and see the details. Practice quizzes are representative of the types of questions you'll encounter on your CWI exam, so take them often so you can reinforce your knowledge that you're building. Now we'll go ahead and show the difference between timed exams and practice quizzes. Now I'm going to discuss the difference between timed exams and practice quizzes. The timed exams are limited to 120 minutes to replicate the length of the CWI exam, and the quizzes are not timed. The exam doesn't provide you instant feedback, but you do get the results at the end of the exam, whereas quizzes give you the instant feedback when you submit your answer, just as I showed you earlier. The exams are scored so you can track how well you're doing, whereas quizzes are not scored. And lastly, the timed exams will randomly select the appropriate number of questions based upon the exam that you're taking. For the quizzes, we give you access to all 1,600 questions in our database, so you can go over all of those. You have two options if you want the narrated lessons and everything else. You can purchase the complete CWI course package, which includes all parts A, B, and C, or you can just do the individual course package where you select whether you want A, B, or C. Now that's if you want narrated lessons and everything else. If you just want the flashcards, quizzes, and exams, and you aren't interested in the narrated lessons, you can then purchase the practice package only and select which parts you want, A, B, or C, or all three. On behalf of Hannah McLeod, I want to thank you for watching this video. And please contact us for any of your CWI or API training needs, whether it's online or on site. You can visit us at atlasapitraining.com. Thank you.